This Protoman review is brought to you by Big Bad Toy Store. Big Bad Toy Store, the ultimate in toys.
From tales of long ago comes a legend. The legend of Voltron? No, that's not what TFcon is barking at. Tries again. Fighting crime in a future time. No, not cops either. Let's try one more time, shall we? The Gobots, the Gobots. That's the name of the theme song, 'cause it's got no more. Yeah! Let's classify these two boys and make them modern. So TFcon is right around the corner, and we got actually four, but two exclusives I'm going to be talking about today. And these are our premier exclusives. We've been working at them for a while now. So guys, we have TF Gobits, Vanguardian, and Roswell. You probably know what these are related to, but let's see it in the video. Let's do this.
Protoretro.
The year was 1983, and rival toy company to Hasbro, Tonka, made their own toy line to kind of combat what was coming of the Hasbro force of things of porting over toy lines from the Diaclon and Microman kind. They created Gobots from the Machine Robo line and a little mixtures of here and there from localized lines too. Gobots went on to become a moderate success at best, and unfortunately in the end became just a relic of the 80s. But as time progressed and Hasbro buying out Tonka, Gobots made their return, in name form essentially. This year at TFcon, we celebrate those two toy lines, Machine Robo and Gobots specifically, that have been lost from the yesteryears and now only see mild homages here and there. With we today, we have Vanguard and Pathfinder. These two characters, very well known within the show if you watched it, have been unfortunately put on the wayside of modern Transformers homages, with the exception of one little e-hobby toy. But TFcon chooses to go beyond that, and thus we have our Heroic Gobits, Vanguardian and Roswell. As you can see, the box has a little connection there showing the beautiful top of Gobitron before having to become terraformed into its more, dare I say, Cybertronian-like look. So be sure to buy both, because then you can have this cool photo in the center. The obvious logo modeled after a certain font and look style of the original Gobots. And the profiles. But we'll get more into those after. So how about we crack these open? I'll give you a little history lesson, and you'll get to really be hyped about two exclusives you'll be having in your hands very shortly. Now, the original Vanguardian was a secondary character, if you will, to the Gobot series. If I had to make a Transformers equivalency of him, I'd have to say he was somewhat along the lines of Sideswipe, in that, while he didn't appear in a lot of episodes, he did get a good handful of them. He was a popular character among the fandom, just by design and character. Very kind of young and energetic, but still, because he was a security officer, got his stuff done. And he was very powerful, kind of a comedy relief at times. Again, Hanna-Barbera writing fare, but still enjoyable. When we were planning out our exclusives, we noticed a lot of similar cues from the original Hench mold from iGear, also known as the Not Brawn, to that of Vanguard. By design, the original Brawn had an M on its hood because it was originally a Microman toy. Coincidentally, pure coincidence, the original Vanguard, or Vanguardian if you want to use his now third-party name, also had a similar M design. Completely a coincidence. because also on top of that, the original Vanguard was what is known as a MRT Gobot. And what that means exactly is most of the Gobots were actually taken from the Machine Robo line having their MR marking on the bottom. And MRT is a mold that was created specifically for the Gobots line. So Vanguard was one of those toys specifically made for Gobots. And still looks great. But that also explains the absence of a lot of diecast except for like the knee area, where usually diecast was a lot more predominant on some Gobot toys. Anyways, that being said, comparisons to the two, we tried our best to match as much as we could of the original. Now granted, what you're going to be seeing of Vanguardian from TFcon is more based off of the animation model. And the animation model had a lot more of those colors, where the toy model a lot less so, but still trying our best to match it as best we can to the original classic character. So that's that more or less. He does also come with a card, just like the previous TFcon exclusives, which are extremely hard plastic, very high quality, and a profile on the back. The full profile of the character will be printed in the TFcon program and comic, so be sure to check that out. These profiles are just more the traditional squatted down Transformer style tech specs, if you will. So let's transform these suckers and do a comparison. Actually, I forgot to mention one thing. He has a shock gun that goes up there. But again, looks kind of silly up there, but it pegs up there. So let's transform him. The robot mode. Now, we tried to get a lot of visual cues again from the cartoon model, essentially. Trying to get, if you could see there when the focus kicks in, we really wanted to get the white eyes that the original character had in the cartoon. If it just would focus. There we go. Something that originally the hench mold, due to its gang molding, would have not been able to do, but we really wanted to have that there. So it is there, luckily. Again, instead of the all-black face, going more for the character model where it had the black and then the more grayish interior face. The details, again, in the chest, see the M also kind of transfers over to the chest. We're trying to get that also with the coloring there. Really, really, really cool. He also, just like hench, has the flip gimmick, in which if you turn the head around, there is a secondary face. Unfortunately, that face really wasn't anything too important to the character, so while we did sculpt and paint a detail there, it really is kind of just there as your, you know, Fanon battle mask. But really, we only put it there as an extra due to the fact that the mold possessed it, but otherwise, the main intention was actually put onto the more humanistic, brawn-looking face. So pretty cool with that. He comes with his, like I said before, shock gun, as it's called in the profile. Although in Gobots, a lot of the characters did not possess weapons, really. They just relied on their fists, if you will, to blast away. So if you possess any... a good example is a lot of the Marvel Universe 3-inch figures have energy blasts, same thing with the Iron Man series. You could clip those onto these similar pegs and be able to simulate the blasting of renegades with the fists. So that's another little bonus there if you want to consider that for your displays. So that's Vanguardian in a nutshell. Really awesome figure. I heavily suggest you pick that up. Now let's move on to our second one, because that one really has a lot of history to it. Next up is Roswell, the throwback to the original Gobots Pathfinder, a female character. Now this set also comes with a gigantic, awesome plastic stand, so that if you wish, you could plug in, there's a little peg at the bottom, although you could use all the other pegs if you want, your Pathfinder for mid-flight action, if you will, for any of your stuff. But let's get into color choices, why we chose this character and everything. Originally back in the day, E-Hobby from Hasbro and Takara did a little box set. which was a throwback to the Gobots, if you will. They used the mini-bots from G1 and turned them into specific characters, like Smallfoot, Bugbite, Bad Boy. It goes on and on. And one of them, which was Cosmos, was painted blue and given some yellow details here and there, and dubbed Pathfinder. Again, the choice of colors that they went with was more based on an unreleased Transformers catalog color design for Cosmos before he became retail and went with the more green instead of this blue here. Not so much a throwback to Pathfinder in colors, but so much so just a throwback to a unreleased G1 toy design. So what we wanted to do when we announced that we were going to be using that UFO iGear mold, we wanted to make both Walk of Life of fans happy. Get the blue, kind of, but then also have some of the gray for the other. If you want the yellow pieces too, I have a little suggestion for you. The original UFO mold, which is a Cosmos homage, has all the yellow bits. You could actually, because of the screws that are used, you could take out all of these white pieces all over this toy and replace it with the yellow of the Cosmos. And you'll be able to get a 100% accurate e-hobby Cosmos if it's really important to you. So be sure to pick up 2 of those. Shill, if you want to do that. But anyways, it had a lot of cues to the original, having the colors try to match up as much as possible, but again, trying to make both walks of life of fans happy, be it the Gobot ones or the ones that like the e-hobby one. Here's the trading card also, same story. Very fancy looking. And I forgot to mention before, but he will go with all your other ones. So if you got Shafter from last year, it's a nice addition. And if you also went to some of the shows in between TFcon and got the Dirty Shafter profile card, that'll be a nice addition too. For more info on that, just bug me at TFcon and I'll try to hook you up with one. So, that being said, let's get back to Pathfinder. Now, this figure, it's a typical circular thing. It came with a singular small weapon. Again, the original Pathfinder character didn't really have a weapon because all Gobots more or less just had, you know, they shot out of their fists. And Pathfinder, even though she was a leader character, really didn't have much beyond that. Now, Cosmos, even in mold-wise, didn't have a weapon either because most mini-bots didn't, with the exception of Outback, and he couldn't even hold it. So this was more of just an extra addition, just to give the character a little something extra. This is the Path Cannon, as I called it in the tech spec. And it can be held literally any peg on this toy at the bottom. If you want it here, if you want it here. I mean, it kind of color matches with the thrusters there. And also on the base of the figure, it also has a ton of holes here if you want to store them there. It's just an extra addition if you want for this, but otherwise, just enjoy it for what it is. So let's transform it and we'll get more into the details of that. As we see, the attempt to make the fans happy continues. Pathfinder having that bulkiness of the original Cosmos while homaging the hobby toy, but still keeping true in colors to the original Gobots toy. Getting that proper balance to make everyone smile. As you can see, it has that bulk. It looks really, really nice though. And a lot of people keep asking this, but this dome here is actually also removable. If you actually, there's 2 pegs there, so if you just give it a squeeze, you could take off the dome and Pathfinder won't have it anymore, or Roswell, if you will. But I find it looks really nice with it, and fictionally, we kind of focused on her having it. The stand still interacts with the character, so if you want to have it like in flight mode, and oh hey, she's in action, floating around with her path cannon, shooting at evil renegades, you can do that, which is really cool. Otherwise, it's a gorgeous figure. Really, really nice. The stand is a nice addition also, which adds a little bit of extra bang for your buck. because this stand is actually compatible with a lot of stuff that has a standard, I believe it's a 3mm peg about. So you could really use it with a lot of different things. And what's cool about the stand too is they actually clip with other stands. They have a male and female clip there. So really cool. Nice little homage to the original Gobots also. And that's it more or less in a nutshell. Let's bring in the other boys and call it a day. So if you're going to be coming to TFcon, be sure to pick these up. You could probably also get in on the other stuff too if you don't come too late, because we're going to have 2 other exclusives there. That being said, this is Protoman of Protoretro, and this has been a video review of the TFcon 2013 exclusives, the Heroic Gobits, Vanguardian, and Roswell. So be sure to come by, say hello, shake my hand, give it a shake, 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 and we'll be hanging out with the Gobots this year because it's GobaCon. So until then, guys, roll out.